I haven't done it yet, but I am doing it now. The 12th of 12th, I've managed it. 12 poetry readings over 12 nights of Yule. I wasn't at all sure I'd be up to it when I began. But here we are in the 12th, and thank you so much for joining me again, if you've watched me before, and welcome if it's your first time. Just myself and some poems for Yuletide, although today I'm able to include a special guest reading from a book of poems by a friend. And tonight I'm going to be reading Jennifer A. McGowan from her book How to Be a Tarot Card, published by Ætera-Geol. So good. There we are. I'll read three from her in a short while. I have my mead with me. My idiosyncratic Yuletide, which I know is shared by some, but not many, is how I've been celebrating Yule for the past 25 plus years. Beginning on the first night, the eve of the solstice, which generally falls on the 20th, and continuing 12 nights through to coincide with tonight, and solstice Yuletide ending with the dawn tomorrow. I'm not keen on the short instant of New Year's Eve. I prefer a long moment, and so for tonight I'd urge you, if you're able, to ignore the stroke of midnight, meaningless computer date, an instant of 12 bongs on the clock if you're lucky. That's no way to transition to a new year into your life. I'd urge you to take a long moment of this night, a good sleep, and whenever you wake tomorrow, let that be the new year. But up to you. For me, this period of solstice has been between the years. 2022 ended 12 nights ago. 2023 begins tomorrow. So let me give you some poems. These are Yuletide or related to Yuletide in some way or other. Some are of the moment, some of them are after Yule. The Anglo-Saxons, the Old English, in their calendar had 2 months. They had Ætera-Geol and After-Geol, essentially before or early Yule and after or late Yule. And of course these were months. These were tied to the moons. These were fixed dates, but they depended on when the new moon came up, and the next one began when the next new moon came up. Here's one. Recalling, it's almost easy to forget it now, how just 12 nights ago the sun was getting lower and lower and lower, further and further away, with all the appearance becoming weaker and weaker. The days were shorter and shorter. It's hardly possible to remember that now that we can see that the days are getting longer. But at that moment when the sun seems so tired, I'll read this to recall that moment. Heart and sun. I've never had to do as much as she has done. Quiet in the sun-lacking days, I've taken over nurturing, shone upon myself. Kindness, like sun rays. A candle lit across a longest night. She's so low in the sky, brings a tear to my eye. I can see her rousing now, arms stretched, going higher into heaven, over earth. Do I hear a horse's snicker, a rattle of reins? Snow will help her too, brightness of ice. And though we go without, through the lengthened long, self-nurture, kindness through the thin months, seeds upon the bird table. I'll do some of what she's done. Heart and sun. With a reminder in that although the light is returning, we still have several months of cold, of not much growing, of birds struggling for food. It mentions lengthen long, or lengthen, which is the Old English word for the light, the lengthening of the light, the lengthening of days. And it's from that we get the term Lent, the going without through the thin months. Return. The solstice moment passed this morning. Dawn is surprised. Still here then? Yes. A beautiful old sun with dangling skin, slightly dry, drawn back and proud. She tips a wink to the stubborn girl. Don't be afraid of your curves, in or out. Christmas is weeping like a TV celebrity with the volume turned down. There is food to eat and a silence to own, as if all the noise in the world has gone elsewhere. Perhaps to hear where a comfort is needed. It's all right. Perhaps she'll be too strong, too bright. Perhaps it's just that we ignored her all this time. Something of a prayer in that, a bead to her to not be too harsh as she gets higher and higher. In Norse mythology, the sun is drawn by horses across the sky, and so is the moon. And the reason they move so fast, as time does seem to move so fast, is because they're being chased by wolves, who will one day, as they say, catch and devour the sun and moon. I tell you that because this poem, next poem, kind of depends upon it. The chase at Yuletide. The sun is sleeping. Stop a while. For 12 nights, rest. Between the years, leave the chase. Change your quarry. Take a bit of turkey bone or a festive cake. Fill your belly. long tongue lolling, load your gut. There will be time. The tides are quiet. Even the moon eats to a fullness. Claws can carve, crave no more. Running's for tomorrow, tired of wolf. The ball of the suns burned herself out. Feast till you're fat, feral hunger. Stuff yourself stiff. Stay and devour till late in the day, the dawn forgotten. Oh, sun's up, sun's away, you're slow on your feet. The scrabble of claws, there's a rush, the wolves trying to catch up again with their full bellies. Now to my special guest, Jennifer A. McGowan, who lives fairly close to me, launched her book, How to Be a Tarot Card, earlier this year, published by Arachne. It's a collection of poems which draw as inspiration, amongst other things, the tarot deck. And each of these poems is inspired by a card from the deck. She doesn't specify which is which. So I kind of have to guess, partly from their order and partly from their contents, which card they might have been inspired by. I'm thinking this one, I'm first going to read, may be inspired by the Hermit, which in my own tarot deck looks like this. Let me get that to you. It's hard to know what direction you move your hand to in this. It's not a mirror. My own deck's the Heindel Tarot, painted by the artist Heindel. The poem's called Lamplighter. It goes like this. The hermit is always old, always telling the same old changing stories. They stand in front of every closed door. Call it a portal. It's never the door you want. You want an open one. The hermit understands, waits. You lose your temper. You demand where the hell they think you should go. They point, put their hand through the door. The door is still closed. While you are reeling, the hermit lights a dream, sculpts it into a lamp, places it in your palm. Maybe it's not the hermit. Maybe it's the crone. Maybe it's been you all along. The Lamplighter. So I'm fairly secure that that belongs with the hermit, which you can hardly see with the light. The next two I'm not so sure about at all. It does speak of falling from a tree, which has me think that maybe it's inspired by the Hanged Man, which in my deck looks like that. Taking certain inspiration from Odin, there's Bifrost the bridge, but in the traditional inverted form. So the sense of him hanging from a tree, having fallen from the tree, I'll read you this one, Miracle of Wings. Independence came late. All day long I'd hear the near adult buzzards crying to be fed, "Ma, ma." Eventually, the parents swore, told them to be off. Stalemate. Crying and stone-cold silence. I saw a squabble, sudden explosion of leaves and feathers. A chick tumbled, fell half the height of the tree, fell further before remembering the miracle of wings, flew back up to the nest. Alternately bragged and sulked for hours. The other chick crying, crying. The miracle of wings. And at last, I can't tell which card she took the inspiration from. But I kind of guess it may have been this one. Certainly fits. And this is the card of death in my deck. It fits so well because it's titled The Girl in the Raven Mask. The girl in the raven mask has red, red hair, as red as her raven's feathers black. She smiles a tiny smile. The lack of irony is disturbing. Tell me where the sparrow builds its nest, or why it cares for the girl in long-sleeved lace who gives back everything threefold. The love, the act of falling. She's jamboree, not snare. She's butterflies and ribbons all about. She stares straight at you. Her hair is as long as your dreams about the future. She knows everyone grows horns sometimes, beyond doubt. But is herself a respite from right, from wrong, from all past troubles and the ones that follow. The Girl in a Raven Mask. One of 3 poems taken from How to Be a Tarot Card by Jennifer A. McGowan, published by Arachne. These are my cards. It's the Major Arcana. I'm just going to pull one. It may have significance. It may not. It may be for me, it may be for you, it may be for none of us. I should pull a one. Reflect upon it. See what it might portend of this moment or the moments yet to come. The Hanged Man. This is someone who's given up a sense of self in order to hear what else there is. Stilled the clamorings of their own mind, removed all connection from the world as much as they can, with just the one string, the one rope, tying them still to the world. Just like the hanged man who appears in The Knotsman. because the final tide to the world is the one that can't be unknotted, though it will come undone one day. It may be appropriate to you. It's certainly been appropriate to me. The Hanged Man. Yule Candle. There's the smell of honey from the offering at Yuletide that I haven't poured away, as if the candle glow remained. My golden cat leaps up to greet me, purring like a flame, wets both our noses, lets me tease a knot out of her hair. There is such a silence here. It speaks of knowing. It speaks of necessary, nothing more. The Norn obliges us. If no one else should ever share this moment, though people walk across it in future days, perhaps the fire, snatching time out of the air, laying it as ash, as memory of ember, a scent of honeyed whiskey in a bowl. Perhaps the fire will truly be eternal now. Going to reach for my drum now. This is the drum. It belonged once to Arnstead Hearth. Painted by Julie Nosser. I forget the name of the artist we took the picture from. A fabulous book for Norse Smith anyway. And I'm just going to tap this very lightly to accompany a poem that I wrote with a folk song in mind, a folk tune, so it does lend itself very quickly to being sung. So I shall attempt to sing it. You can turn down your volume now if you wish. The song it's based upon is called The Silver Dagger, and the poem is called The Lazy Houseman. Awake, awake, my darling houseman, awake, awake, awake the fair stretched arm of day. The Yuletide feast has come to clearing, and the elves must be sent away. Await, await, my darling housewife, the night was dark and the night was long. The deep carousing has cost me dearly, and like the elves I would sleep on. My darling houseman, the elves are wakeful, and call for porridge and their morning ale. The springy brownies are ever breakful, out fear they'll turn on the milking pail. My darling housewife, just give them honey, give oo grafted on chunky bread. They will lie easy till sun has risen. Undress yourself and come back to bed. The household wights, they are growing surly. Oh, houseman, rouse, they bid you come and hail our Yule guests from the hallway with tempered beat of resounding drum. The wights of household are well known to me. I feed them ale, wife, throughout the year. Frith and harvest right well they bring me. They will not mither at my sleeping here. Oh, houseman, how can you leave me lonely? The riot runs the house in fitfulness. In every corner the fatted alpha, in every cranny a bloated dish. I thank you for this silver dagger, houseman, a fine Yule gift it made. Your bottom shines from beneath the blanket, but an elf shine has took the blade. My wife, I fear I'm elf-shot. A pain so sharply afflicts my bum. My buttock cheek should not be so played with. Fetch me now my resounding drum. Tomorrow morning, when I wake up, all the elves that were invited to stay with us over Yuletide, the elves of the trees, the elves of the fields, all those elves that would do us well, and none that would mean us harm, shall be roused up with the drum and told to go back out into the wild, and just the elves of the house will have leave to remain, have all their space back again. Now that I can't get my words out, bear with me. Now that I've dropped all my poetry, splat upon the floor, and stand a useless Christmas tree, pineless. Now I've lost the sparkly, just the flab of too much swallowed. Now I've dropped the elf costume, stum, and all the seasonal jobs. With what remains so painfully naked, except alone, and no one's naked alone. Now that's done, and who's to say what's next to do? There's only this. I am, unjudged by any, which may be okay. Maybe. This next looks ahead a little bit. A month, 2 months, maybe. The light has gotten brighter. The equinox has approached, has passed, and we find ourselves in warmer times again. So this one looks ahead to that. Called springing. The winter house became a summer house. We hadn't seen how our circle of light and warmth had gotten so small, shrunk beneath the solstice dust. It's growing now with every breath. Even the unseasonal icing tapped away by sun. Fresh eyes on the outside. Sad a little for the song we kept inside. Tomorrow we will open up the door, bring the sleeping doves from the attic, and the bear, dozed out upon the floor, to the riverside, growing on the lawn. And let them go, let them fly, let them roar. saying yes. Take us with you. Just one more to add, one more to do now. Before that, another moment of looking at fate, looking at weird, with my bag of runes. You can just about see a Odin stitched into the bag. Just going to draw the one. It may mean something to you, it may mean something to me. It may mean something beyond our knowledge. Oh. Just about make that out. That is the rune Win, which is most often translated as joy. It survives in modern English in winsome and such. Gives you a sense of something that it engenders joy, creates gladness. The verse, if I remember it correctly, speaks of win being enjoyed by those who know little sorrow, possibly know a little of sorrow, and is enjoyed by those who have blood, harvest, bliss, and Ætera-Geol, which translates as security, enough. So it speaks of boundaries, it speaks of a creative harvest and bliss and enjoyment of that. So perhaps that means something for you, perhaps it means something for me. Meet again in a year's time. So this to finish. As I said, tomorrow I'll be banging the drum around the house, urging those elves that don't live here usual to go back to their trees and their waters and their woods and their fields. Ætera-Geol. Awake, awake, you drowsy sleepers. Awake, awake, the morn has come. The light is breaking, clear and early. Hear you the beat of the husband's drum. 'Tis time to fare to your fields and woodland, from shelter of the Yuletide fire. The sun has shaken her tresses golden, draws her chariot ever higher. The kindred's eyes on the new horizon, to watch her riding upon her way. And though the wolf may follow after, ever brighter grows the day. Awake, awake, you drowsy sleepers. Awake, fair Alpha, awake, sweet Dis. The light is breaking clear and early. The time for faring out it is. Have a glad new year. A great harvest for you. Keep well.